baking in the kitchen together. Although for this recipe, I don't know if it counts as baking because we never put the pie in the oven. What do you think?
It's cooking.
It's cooking together. We do a little cooking on the stove. We're gonna make our famous chocolate ganache pie, though we're gonna add a little holiday twist to it and make it into a peppermint chocolate ganache pie. It's a whole food, plant-based recipe, and sometimes we try to sneak in some vegetables, but usually the kids have to be out of the kitchen for that, so we'll see if that happens today, but I'll give you some hints and suggestions. So we'll start with the crust, and it's a fun nutty crust. Lily can show the ingredients we have ready. We have about a cup of walnuts and about a cup of almonds. You can use whatever nuts you have in your kitchen. I really like pecans, it adds a nice flavor. And if you don't like nuts, you can use oats. Then the sticky important part are the dates. So I've chopped up a bunch of dates. You could use about a cup and a half. I don't measure all that much. We do it by look and taste. Another ingredient, about 2 tablespoons of coconut flakes. And these ones are pretty finely shredded. You can use whatever you have. And 1 teaspoon cinnamon. So the crust is easy peasy. We throw all these ingredients into our blender and let it mash it all up, and we'll show you how that works. Let's throw in both the nuts, and then I'm gonna blend the nuts just a little bit at first. So we're using a NutriBullet. A bullet works really good. If you have a smaller magic bullet, that works good too, or your food processor. Oh no. Okay, didn't take long, just a little muscle. Then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. Mention it, but I'm going to throw in a little bit of vanilla. Just for fun. Okay. Procedure, but I do lift and shake my bullet a little bit to get it all mixed in nice. You could stop it, take your spoon and shake things up. Then we put this into our pie pan and press it down to the bottom and along the sides. All right, go for it, Lily. Find your crust is too dry and crumbly, then you need to add more dates. Too sticky, add more nuts. Too yummy, gotta nibble a little bit while you're working on it. While Lily's getting that so we'll have 2 layers in our pie. And one will have just a thin layer of peppermint and then peppermint glaze, and then we'll have the chocolate ganache, which will make up the majority of the pie. So for our peppermint layer, we're going to chop up 2 peppermint candy canes. And Lily has tried out some different methods. You can put it in a Ziploc baggie and smash, smash, smash.
That doesn't work so well.
Doesn't work quite as well. Your bag breaks and you get
about half the powder you would.
Half the powder you would, but it's all over your counter and you can still sweep it up and get it. But we found the mortar and pestle works even better. So if you have one of these, we'll break pieces into here and Lily will pound, 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 and she gets a nice sandy texture.
But you don't want it completely sand because then you won't get any chunks.
Your Lily, she likes to leave some chunks in there, which are great too.
Yeah, because if you make it completely dust, you won't taste it.
Yeah. So moving on to layer number 1, we have the crust in 2 layers. Layer number 1, Lily will do the candy canes, and I'll move to the stove.
Not want to speak louder since I'm working with something properly.
So what I'm going to melt is the coconut oil. So I have maybe a tablespoon and a half of coconut oil. And so when we heat it up, it gets nice and melty, and then when we chill it, it is firm. So it'll become firm then in the pie. But we're heating it up to melt everything together. And then I probably have 2 tablespoons of tahini. Lily and I actually suggest you use cashew butter, because most tahini is pretty bitter, but our tahini isn't. And tahini is a butter made with sesame seeds. So ours isn't bitter and it's pretty yummy, but cashew butter is probably even more yummy. We tried several ingredients, and I think both tahini and cashew were really lovely. We also tried a vegan butter, which I think was Lily's favorite.
It was better.
It was better. But I like to stick with the whole foods, so the butter isn't quite a whole food. So we're sticking with this one, which I think is really yummy. So alternate, you can use whatever butter you have on hand. And as a sweetener, I don't usually use much sugar, but here we have some powdered sugar, and it's also about 2 tablespoons.
You use 6 cups of sugar and butter.
And then, because I'd like it to be a little pink in color, I have about a tablespoon worth of pomegranate seeds. And then I have this mesh, which is cut up from a paint bag strainer. And I'm gonna strain the pink juice without getting all the pomegranate seeds into my liquid. But I think first I'm gonna melt it.
I want to finish talking.
So I have it on my stove on low, but I'll keep the camera here on Lily's activity because it's more interesting. And clean as we go.
They won't have to if I smash it.
It's coming. Nice. So I have the burner on low and I'm just melting the coconut oil and the tahini or cashew butter. Try big chunk. How is it, Lily?
Good.
Good.
I say that's plenty. when the candy cane pounding is done, it should be look about like that. Chunks.
And for these candy canes this year, we found some organic candy canes, and it's interesting, they're colored by fruits and vegetables. Beets, apple, and black
No.
currants.
Not beets.
Oh, not beets, radishes. But we don't seem to taste those flavors in the
It
candy
tastes
cane.
like what Mom says a normal candy cane should taste like.
Tastes like peppermint. Okay, so we've got those ingredients melted. So we'll add our peppermint candies. Oh, but we want to reserve about a tablespoon or
That's gonna be most of it.
half a tablespoon.
I'll get some of it.
Okay, reserve some of it just to sprinkle on top to garnish and decorate your
The
pie.
chunkier parts.
That's good. All right. The rest will go in here. Then we have some peppermint extract. We will add about a teaspoon maybe. And then I'm gonna attempt to color it pink with the pomegranate seeds. So put them in this mesh and squeeze. There we go. Alright, well, that looks really fun. Alright, mix it up. We'll put that first layer in our pie crust. And then because we want it to harden pretty fast, we'll store it in the freezer while we work on the ganache layer. And then when we add the ganache, we'll put the whole thing in the fridge for a few hours. You can put it in the freezer if you want it to harden up quicker. And now we're ready to make the chocolate ganache. So Lily will show the ingredients we need for this part. We have some cacao powder or cocoa powder, whatever we've got. These are cashews. We have a bar of dark chocolate. That will melt in a double boiler. We have some vanilla extract and some maple syrup. That's a little bit more than I usually use, so I'm not sure we'll use all that, but
Yes, we will.
we'll test and see.
I'll dump it in.
We have some dates chopped up, seeds removed, and some coconut cream. So we'll use both of our blenders for this. First we'll blend the cashew nuts, and then we'll add the dates and blend those so it gets pretty smooth. And then we'll put everything in the Vitamix. But
Is that a new blender?
yeah,
It's gonna be the really loud.
but the chocolate we're going to melt in the double boiler. So I'll let Lily do that part. She'll break it up, and we have a small pot she can put the chocolate in, and it's going to sit inside the larger pot that's filled with water. And then we'll just have it on low. And I'll do some blending on this side. I do the nuts first, and then it gets nice and dusty. And then I'll add the dates. You can do all of this in your blender, but I think it comes out smoother if I do it first in my bullet. When I add the chopped up dates just to my blender, sometimes I get date chunks in there, which I think are delicious and just fine, but if you're looking for a really smooth consistency, you might not want that. So then we add the coconut cream, and I scoop out the big creamy part and put a little bit of the liquidy part in, but I don't put all of it in because I want my chocolate to be thicker and to set in the fridge. So I remove some of the liquid portion and save that for my green smoothie the next morning. Lily had a comment about the green smoothie breakfast. She goes for chocolate smoothies in the morning. Well, what's your favorite breakfast?
My favorite breakfast. French toast.
French toast. Okay, so I got all the thick creamy parts out, and I'm just going to add a little bit of the liquid, a little bit more, and so I probably, looks like I have 2/3 cup liquid that I'm going to set aside. Okay, cocoa powder can go in. Whee!
Oh, that was just.
Nice. Alright, then we have our nut date mixture. Now here's where I do like to sneak in some pureed veggies. I often keep
Oh, you
pureed
did that ahead of time, didn't you?
baked squash or pumpkin in my fridge, and you can put in half a cup of that. You could put in an avocado that's nice and smooth and ripe. That makes for a really nice creamy chocolate ganache. But Lily likes to keep the avocados for guacamole. She makes a mean guacamole, so we're saving that. All right, we'll try about half of that.
Come on.
We'll try half to start. See how it goes. Nice.
This one.
And then teaspoon or two of vanilla. Okay. Dark chocolate has now melted, so we're going to add that to our blender.
Nice and glossy.
We have a very nice gloss with our melted chocolate. We're proud of that.
And making fun of Paul Hollywood? Absolutely.
Lily and I have enjoyed watching the Great British Baking Show. We've learned lots of techniques and how important it is to have a nice gloss for your chocolate.
It's oh so important.
Okay. And we'll give it a final blend. You might want to get a spoon. Okay, we have to taste to see if it's awesome. What do you think, Lily?
Let me talk a ganache pie.
Mmm, yummy. Very chocolatey. And just enough maple syrup. Okay, we'll take our pie out of the freezer. Pour the chocolate on. And then I would leave it in the fridge for about 4 hours or so to set. part. Then we'll add our peppermint candies to decorate the top. Look extra fancy. Here is our peppermint chocolate ganache pie. I hope yours is just as delicious. Thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas.